Good morning, everyone. First, I want to start with a scripture from the New World Translation because we know Jehovah's Witnesses, they believe every word in this Bible. They live by it, allegedly, and they use it to their advantage, and so they use it to basically control the rank and file. So that's why I want to read this scripture. This is the 1984 large print reference Bible, 1 Timothy 6, 9 through 10. However, those who are determined to be rich fall into temptation and a snare and many senseless and hurtful desires, which plunge men into destruction and ruin. For the love of money is a root of all sorts of injurious things, and by reaching out for this love, some have been led astray from the faith and have stabbed themselves all over with many pains. And we all know that even Jesus said not to be part of the world. So that scripture right there, Watchtower and the elders were always throwing scriptures at all of us. Oh, you can't do this, you do this, do that, to control us. But yet, they will not pay attention to that scripture. So with that in mind, I've got a clarification and some updates and some other things that I have found. And so thank you for joining me today, because there seems to be some confusion, and I noticed over on the JehovahWitness.com original post about Watchtower investments to that person, someone said, well, how do we know of the list of investments, because it's not in that Clarence Sisk website. And so what I've done is I've gone back and got links and the documents so that everybody can see, where we got this list of investments. Now, I also want to clarify that even though we call them Watchtower investments, Watchtower itself may not have any control over what is bought and sold, since this is the Henrietta Riley Trust Fund. Those trustees would be in charge of the actual control over it. So, Watchtower may not have any control over that, but I just want to mention, but look at these stocks, and Watchtower is gaining unrighteous riches by means of it. So they may not have chosen to buy the RanCam stocks. It was donated to them directly, and they're taking the money from that, and I do not know if they still own that stock or not, because as you know, that RanCam, on the Security Exchange Commission's U.S. government website was from 2004, if I remember correctly. So I don't know if they still own that, but the point is back at that time, they did own it, and they were getting capital gains or interest money from those stocks. See, and that's the point, is all of these stocks and investments and stuff are donated to them, but they're taking and making use of that. And I just want to point out to all of you who never were Jehovah's Witnesses, the reason this is such a big thing is because of their hypocrisy. They tell Jehovah's Witnesses to live simply. When Jehovah's Witnesses go into Bethel to work, to volunteer, they have to sign a vow of poverty. And for those of you who haven't heard about this vow of obedience and poverty that the full-time volunteers, slaves, servants of Jehovah's Witnesses have to sign, I will read this to you. And this has been verified. I am friends with several Bethelites, And they are just disgusted that they had to take this vow of poverty, and now they find out that all of the high up Watchtower people, they can have their trust funds, like Anthony Morris and ones like that, Stephen Lett. They can be in business with their family, even though they may have had to have signed this and obey this, but the rank and file who come to Bethel have to follow this. So I'm going to read this because I know it's kind of hard to see. Zoom in a little bit here. Vow of obedience and poverty to the order of special full-time servants of Jehovah's Witnesses. As an ordained minister, wholly dedicated to Jehovah God, I hereby express my solemn desire to be recognized as a member of the worldwide order of special full-time servants of Jehovah's Witnesses, the order. I vow as follows. While a member of the order, to live the simple, non-materialistic lifestyle that has traditionally existed for members of the order. In the spirit of the inspired words of the prophet Isaiah, Isaiah 6:8, and the prophetic expression of the psalmist, Psalm 110, verse 3, to volunteer my services to do whatever is assigned to me in the advancement of kingdom interests wherever I am assigned by the order. To be submissive to the theocratic arrangement for members of the order, Hebrews 3:17. To devote my best full-time efforts to my assignment. Number 5, to abstain from secular employment without permission from the order. Number 6, to turn over to the local organization of the order all income received from any work or personal efforts in excess of my necessary living expenses, unless released from this vow by the order. To accept such provisions for members of the order, be they meals, lodging, expense reimbursements, or others, as are made in the country where I serve, regardless of the level of my responsibility or the value of my services. To be content and satisfied with the modest support that I receive from the order as long as I am privileged to serve in the order, and not to expect any further remuneration should I choose to leave the order, or should the order determine that I no longer qualify to serve in the order. Matthew 6:30 through 33, 1 Timothy 6:6 through 8, and Hebrews 13:5. To abide by the principles set out in God's inspired word, the Bible, in publication of Jehovah's Witnesses, and in policies dispensed by the order, and to follow the directions of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. And 10, to accept readily any decision made by the order regarding my membership status. Shocking. And I know many of you who didn't know about this. It's very shocking, isn't it? Now, if anybody wants any of these documents that I don't have links to or don't have on my website, you can just email me at kimmyMbrooks@gmail.com. I have these type of documents. I have a couple of these. This is the newest one I have. I've got some from years ago that were a little bit different. That they are not going to be making, buku bucks from something like this. So that's the thing, is this is all about a hypocrisy. Now, what I'm going to do, before I do that, I just want to mention, I want to thank Thomas so much. He has taken that PDF file and cleaned it up a little bit and condensed it. So I am able to put it on our website now. And I'm going to put the link down below to all of this. But if you go to our website now, that PDF of Watchtower Investments is right at the top. And when you scroll down past all of their investments, the 990 form is in there. And on our website, I have the RanCam link. I've got, some of the Henrietta Riley. Now, and there was a problem with the Dropbox link, and so I've changed that, and thankfully now, thanks to, like I said, Thomas, he took Atlantis's original PDF file, and it's still 412 pages, but he has condensed it so it will fit on our website. So thank you very much for doing that for us. I appreciate it. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to turn the camera back on my computer screen, and hopefully it's a little bit clearer and a little bit brighter so you can see, you know, the screen a little bit better. But I've got some more information. I have the old Henrietta Riley IRS 990 forms up, because this is where we got a large portion of the investment list. And I love these older tax returns because they had to attach to these returns a supplemental list of their portfolio. And that's why it was so good. And I also found another foundation that is giving Watchtower money. And so I'm going to be covering that. So let me get this camera turned around. Now the first thing I want to cover, this is no longer available on the New York City Top 100. And so you have to go to the Wayback Machine. Don't know if you could see that in the upper left corner there. This is the Wayback Machine, and I'm going to put the link down below to this because this was the top 100 New York City companies in September 7th, 2001. You can see it right there. Okay, now if you scroll down, and it's a lot. I wish they had these pages, but you just scroll down and you'll come to the SF Holdings, but right underneath them, Watchtower Bible Tract Society. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Turn the camera. Watchtower Bible Tract Society of New York, 25 Columbia Heights. Revenue, right here, revenue, $951 million. See, this is the top 100 companies making money in New York City. See, publishing. Yeah, right here. It takes a lot of printing to supply more than 6 million Jehovah's Witnesses with the materials for their ministry. One publication, Watchtower, now has an average print run of 23 million copies twice per month, an increase of 7.5% over last year. Our report for the year is different from a Wall Street company, said Vice President George Couch. Indeed, the company's employees are volunteers who live and work in the Brooklyn complex. The thing is this about printing the magazines, that no longer applies because they only have a study edition. The public edition, they only have a couple a year. So, I mean, this isn't no longer true. So I will put the link down below to this. Now, let's go to another website here. All right, now we are back at the ProPublica public documents for these foundations. Now, this is the K&K and TY and then TSE Foundation. This is their 990 for a private foundation in 2020. Okay, so this foundation, fair market value of all assets, right there, 1.3 million. And I just happened to come across this by accident when I was looking for some of this other stuff. But this is their tax returns, and I'm going to scroll down here. You know, and I will admit that I am not an accountant. But, right here, page 11, Watchtower Bible Tract Society. See? And they show there's no relationship. So this is a public foundation that is giving $50,000 to Watchtower for this year. And who knows how many more of these foundations and individuals. Now, I want to mention that a lot of this I used to get on citizensaudit.org, and they make you subscribe now. You have to pay every month to get a subscription to view their website. But that's where I got a lot of my documents, because it used to be free to the public. And you would not believe all of the grants that Watchtower gets from individuals and these public companies and foundations and you name it. I mean, who knows how many billions of dollars they are raking in on this. Okay. Yeah. I know I talk kind of fast, so I'm going to try to slow down a little bit here. All right. Now, some of these documents you cannot find in the public anymore, and I wonder why. Is it because they were so detailed about this? Now, this is from the Henrietta Riley Trust for Watchtower, and this was their 2004 return. So, gross receipts, $365,000. Rental income, and this will come into play, and this is why I wanted to show this. Scroll down here to page 13 of this return. Oil and gas royalties. Right there. Oil and gas royalties. Gross rental income, $1.8 million. Just for the oil and gas royalties. And if you went to JWN, to that Watchtower Investments link that I provided in my last video, you will see where Atlantis was talking a lot about this. And this is why him and I, can say with confidence that we trust the list of investments and stuff like that, because this is how we know this, because both of us have gone through a lot of documents and we have grabbed these documents. Beastzilla is full of these documents, and even jwfacts.org, they even have some of these documents also. So you can see back then they had to, they had to file these forms. Cash grants and allocations, support, Watchtower and Bible Tract Society, $1.7 million. Corporate stocks, corporate bonds, mutual funds. See, in this form, that's what's so confusing, is this form is just for the support of Watchtower. So the Henrietta Riley Trust may have, who knows how many stocks and investments. But see, this is what they give Watchtower. This is what they have to declare, on here. And now, when you go to page 16, it starts the schedule of investment sales. So, Watchtower may not have had control, like I said, of buying and selling, but they have to report all of these that they sold. And this is where us and that clearance six, where we get our partial list. Because they have, back then, they had to have the original cost they paid for these stocks, the proceeds, whether it was a gain or a loss, over here in this column. So you can see them selling this. And this is part of where Watchtower gets its money. So you can see Harley Davidson. But you can see this list. See, Comerica. So this is the Comerica portfolio, and you can see the account number right there. And this is what's great about these old IRS forms, is because this is where we got our list and know that they are involved in this. Pfizer. So of course they're going to say the Pfizer shot was okay. Walmart, you know, all of these. This Henrietta Riley, they have a tremendous amount of stocks and investments. And like I said, and I don't care if anybody wants to get money off of a trust fund, I don't care. But the thing is the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. And they make these poor volunteers at Bethel sign the vow of poverty. And then here's Watchtower raking in all of this money. Okay, here on page 25, we're going to start seeing more of, right here, oil, gas, and mineral interests, and all of this. And like I said, these documents, I know it's boring to look through all of these, but it's so important to see where this Henrietta Riley Trust is getting their money from to give to Watchtower. And Watchtower gladly accepts this money. All right, now, back here at ProPublica.org, I am on the, go up here, show you which one I am at. Okay. I am at the 2011, right there. This is the 2011 990 form, Henrietta Riley Trust for Watchtower. And you can download it or you can look at it here. Now, let's go down to page 23. Now, on this one, 2011, this is another good one because grants and other assistance organizations, governments, and individuals in the United States. Watchtower Bible Tract Society, 501c3, $914,000 amount of cash grant. Like I said, this is why I like these old tax forms, because they have a lot more detail and they had to be public. They were public. See, they had to add these supplemental information. Okay, look at. Here's the Comerica. Oh, here, let me scroll up so you can see it. The Comerica. And what this is good because this is their account statement. You can see here, they sold 50,000 units of Pitney Bow stocks. How much, you know, the trust got. And here is a list of their investments, the shares that they sold. Okay. Now what's interesting, now this is where a lot of us got the list, because the investment portfolio summary, now this is on page 32 of their PDF, account statement from the Comerica Bank and Management Company. Look at this. This is where you can get a list of the investments. And this is where they are getting the money to pay Watchtower their grants. But you can see, this is where we get the list of investments. You know, sorry, I should have said that in my video yesterday or the day before. See, Merck, Microsoft, IBM, Goldman Sachs. See, this is where we got our list because it's right here in their portfolio. See, and at that time, their grand total of assets was over $3 million. See, royalty income. Royalty income. $952,000. So anyway, like I said, I will put the list below, and like I said, here on our website I will put the link again to this because I was able to get this. And I also have this PDF of this 990 form that I just talked about, and you can just see it, you can read it, or there is a download button for you to download these. And these are all public forms. And then I have the link to the Henrietta Riley Projects ProPublica if you want to go look at it. I also have the link to the United States SEC, which is the Security Commission Government Archives of the RAND CAM stocks. I have that link, and I have a screenshot from that Fourth Watch website. There is, I also have the link to the 2020 Henrietta Riley form. Now, this, I also have this form from the United States Security and Exchange Commission. Now, this is from, see, it's stamped 2007, but I have this one. Okay, this is the actual form from the Securities Exchange Commission, and when you scroll down, Watchtower Bible Tract Society. These are their hedge fund documents they had to file with the U.S. Government Security Exchange Commission. These are the actual hedge fund documents. You can download them, you can see them, they are stamped. And see that they invested $40 million in hedge funds. I've got that one from 2007, and I've got this one from 2009. Like I said, right down below here, you get the download button. I also have the booklet from that Global Indexing and ETFs. I've got that Invest Hedge booklet where they attended. So like I said, you know, this is free. You can just go download this, you can use the links and share it everywhere. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the phone calls and emails and all of that. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope this clarified things a little bit, because I know, like I said, all of us who aren't accountants or CPAs, you know, it's difficult for us to understand all of this. And, you know, I apologize that there wasn't links so you could actually find out investments. But this is where we find these investments, are in these wonderful Henrietta Riley IRS 990 forms. Now, churches are tax exempt, and they don't always have to fill out one of these 990s. So, you know, the 990 I have from the Watchtower Bible Tract Society itself, that's why that was so good, and I wish I could find some newer, up-to-date ones. So anyway, thank you so much everybody, and you have a wonderful day. Bye.